Following your suggestions, I've decided to create a dedicated video about meme coins. Before we dive into the analysis, I'd like to kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel and make sure to like the video. Starting with Pepe. In my opinion, Pepe is in a good position. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, you'll notice it's forming a pennant pattern, which is a continuation pattern. This means if Bitcoin allows, we'll usually see a continuation of the upward trend. You just need to wait for the breakout. Ideally, this pattern should also form in the 2-hour and 1-hour time frames. Once it breaks out, the target can be calculated based on the height of the pattern, which could bring us to approximately 29648. For now, be patient and wait for the breakout. Another significant level is around 25013, where there's a fair value gap visible on the 4-hour time frame. If you missed a good entry for this coin, you can set an alarm at 15671 to check the conditions. If it fails to hold 50% of the fair value gap, it may head towards an order block, which, in my opinion, is a very attractive level at 12979. Moving on to Dogs. This is another meme coin, but it's on the Ton network. As you might know, I think it still has growth potential, as it hasn't experienced a massive rally like Hamster. In lower time frames, which I've analyzed extensively, we can see it needs to break the 6,591 level to start a potential upward move. Be patient and wait for a trendline breakout, as they're likely to intersect. Once that happens, we can expect a strong bullish move in the market. This area has a somewhat complex resistance with dynamic resistance, so make sure to wait for confirmation before entering. In the higher time frames, 4-hour and daily, we're still within a channel. If Dogs can break out of this channel, combined with the resistance levels mentioned earlier, I believe we'll see a good move soon. Although momentum isn't very strong, it's still worth monitoring for a breakout. Baby Doge. I've mentioned several times that if you're looking to take profits, do so around the orange zone we discussed earlier. It's a very strong resistance, and every time it approaches this level, it gets rejected sharply. You need to wait for a breakout of 3,367. Personally, I'm not interested in trading it in the futures market, as its volume isn't appealing to me. However, if you're interested, you can consider it, but it's a risky move. If it breaks lower levels and approaches the orange zone again, we'll reassess its potential, as it's repeatedly showing weakness around this area. Brett. Finally, Brett has formed the structure I was waiting for. As I mentioned earlier, this is a repeating pattern. Previously, I copied the same movement and showed you that Brett could behave similarly. The initial target based on this movement was 33500, but we need to adjust it slightly to 30375 now. It's progressing exactly as expected, so there's no need to change our plan. However, it's now facing a local resistance level, which is critical. Be cautious here, as it's a key area to monitor. I've repeatedly emphasized this structure because I also bought in at the time and shared my trade with you. Doge with hot. Is showing an upward trend but hasn't yet reached a new eighth across most exchanges. However, it's very likely to break through soon. On lower time frames, the logical pullback level is around $2.86. If you're trading on lower time frames, pay attention to the $3.36 level, which has been tested a few times. For now, wait for a breakout of $3.95 to confirm another bullish move. On the flip side, if it pulls back, we have a clean order block around $3.25, which could provide an opportunity. Myro and Ven. These meme coins on Solana are significantly lagging behind. Myro, for instance, has been stuck in a very clean descending trend line for a while, with multiple touches. We're nearing the main order block, which aligns with its resistance levels. For Myro, wait for a breakout of 1751 before entering. Potential targets are 2914 and 3220. VEN is also lagging but has potential. It recently broke out of a wedge pattern, and I previously mentioned its targets, 20989 and 32941. These were solid profit opportunities. Samoyed coin. Samo is one of the earlier meme coins on the Solana network, and it still holds potential. However, it needs some volume. If it breaks out of its flag pattern, there's a chance for a 900% increase. The key level to watch is 17449. If it doesn't break this level, there's no guarantee of an upward move. Be patient and avoid getting trapped. Yeah, SNEC on Cardano. SNEC is performing well on Cardano, which has been doing decently overall. It's worth monitoring for a breakout around 28508, which could trigger a strong upward move. Floki. Floki has some room to grow before hitting its resistance. For now, in the 4-hour time frame, look for entries around the 30640 and 33072 order block levels. Wait for a breakout of 27288 for confirmation of a structural shift. Foxy on Linea Network. Foxy is underrated but has potential. A pullback to 122 could set the stage for another upward move. Watch for a range between 12085 and 1497 for potential entries. The main takeaway is patience. Wait for the key levels to break before entering trades. Let me know if you'd like further breakdowns on specific coins. Here's the English translation of your text. BOEM is in a similar situation, friends. BOEM is also lagging. Look, I'm trying to explain those lagging meme coins to you, okay? After that, it's up to you. You're hearing their names daily anyway, like Moding, Gut, and so on. Either I talk about them myself, or you hear about them on social media. Now, if you're looking for a token that hasn't had much action and hasn't broken out of its range yet, one of them is BOEM. If it can break out, it has the potential to make an impact. Daddy Tate is one of the celebrities, and celebrities usually move together. This one has a similar structure. Wait until it breaks and then enter. My suggestion is to wait for it to break the 1808 level. Before that, it's not very attractive to me. Maybe it'll give us some profits in the meantime, but it's not appealing to me. It's up to you whether you want to take the risk of entering at 1286 to grab a portion or not. That's entirely your choice. Toshi, which typically follows Brett, is also in a decent situation. Toshi is essentially a large box. Let me turn on its midline. I think it will be more visible. The situation is like this. If it can hold the 22021 range, we can expect an upward movement, potentially up to 5,500. I'm not discussing highly bullish patterns yet. It's still early days. COQ Inu is another coin to watch. AVAX is performing well, Solana is doing fine, and its sub-ecosystem is also moving positively, okay? Until AVAX shows more solid movement, COQ Inu will remain in this fluctuating state. It broke the initial resistance, but it hasn't yet crossed the critical level I'm looking for, above 1702. If it moves above 1702, we can expect further bullish movement. That's what I'm watching for. It could either pull back or break another resistance point like 2005. You should pay more attention to AVAX. Let me mark the 2055 level. Let's switch to the 15-minute time frame and see if it gives us an entry. Look how well it's reacting to this range. We have to wait until this range breaks. It's clear what can happen if it doesn't break through. It will break the short-term trend line, and we could see continued downward movement. One coin I've noticed is seeing heavy purchases recently. MPC, non-playable coin. MPC is in a strange position right now. It's been moving quietly. I didn't buy MPC myself because I had other positions, so I didn't monitor it closely. But lately, there's been a lot of heavy buying, and it might be preparing for a new upward leg. Looking at MPC's Fibonacci levels, the current move has potential up to 6,991, 1128, and 2073. It still has room to grow, and we can expect some upward movement from it. Moomoo is in a similar situation. We've discussed Moomoo. It will benefit us if it has a pullback, allowing us to enter on the bounce since the structure is still bullish. Let's take a look at Popcat. Popcat isn't bad at all. It's one of those coins that could regain momentum alongside Solana. This morning, it looked strong. If it breaks out, it could potentially reach $5. This market is highly favorable for meme coins right now. Many traders focus exclusively on them. Popcat could continue its upward trend. Just wait for it to break the trend line. If it does, it could extend to $2.40, $3.28, and even $5 or $6. A mid to long-term perspective is needed here. SPX 6,900 is another coin with strong potential. However, it's not in an ideal entry spot right now unless you have a long-term perspective. If it can break levels like 5,156 or 4,514, it would make more sense to enter than jumping in midway. Once it breaks 7,364, we could say the upwards trend has started. Otherwise, it seems to be forming a downward continuation pattern. MOG looks decent. It recently hit a new ATH and still has room to grow. Based on its previous moves, targets of 3,588, and 51520 seem reasonable. Support levels are around 24006 and 16665. We've got some good coins right now, though they peak momentarily. FWOG has reached its target since our last analysis. If it breaks 71452, we could take a 15-minute trade on it. Otherwise, not in a great spot for trading right now. Kittenhammer is also lagging. If it stabilizes above 8,913, we can expect upward movement, potentially to $1.13, $1.14. Bar6, part of the cat-themed trend, is rising. It's only tradable on the Solana network for now. Wait for it to break 3,385 for a potential 150% gain. These are high-risk plays, though, so keep that in mind. Analos feels stagnant. It moves sporadically, and if it breaks 6,031 or its structure changes at 11320, it might start trending upward. Pepe 2 is similar. It's mostly moved over time and doesn't show much structure for a major bullish breakout. Interestingly, Meme hasn't moved yet. Meme was one of Ethereum's earliest meme coins that later launched on Solana and Binance. If it breaks the 200-day moving average, it could see a sharp price increase. Wojak has some potential if it breaks the 18449 resistance. It could grow by 291% up to around 75. Maneki has exited its range and is heading toward a significant resistance at 19558. Doge hasn't broken out yet, but when it does, it could begin a major move. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this analysis. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Wish you success and profits.